Hey Pretties, welcome back to Pretty Incorporated. I'm Germany, and so today we're going to be talking about a topic that I think we all should, something that we all should do in our lives, especially in this day and time. So I feel like I wanted to talk about fasting, and basically with fasting, it's just giving yourself to God, showing God that you want a deeper connection with Him, and you fast because it's just basically drawing near to God, getting rid of those things that are holding you back from building a relationship with God, and just being open about who you are and letting God expose yourself to Him, and He's going to expose you to yourself. And so, what is a fast? A fast is basically you getting rid of the things that distract you, the things that keep you in the worldly things, the things that block our visions, the things that keep us from being the individual God created us to be. And so I have 7 little tips, seven PTs that I want to give you, and those are pretty tips for your spiritual growth and all of that in a fast. So one, I think you should set some guidelines when it comes to your fast. And what I mean guidelines is, why are you fasting? What's your reason? What are you looking for God to do in your life? What are you looking for to happen for you in your life in the time that you fast? And this also goes with, how long should you fast? Should you fast for 7 days? Some people just fast for 7 days. Some people fast for 21 days. And then there's also the 40, you can fast for 40 days like Jesus. So it's all about what you want, how long you want to fast. Some people you can fast for 3 days. It's all about how you're expecting results and how soon you're trying to see God work in your life. Then I think, what should you fast from is your next question. So that's something you have to get with God on and ask God, what is it that you want me to fast from? What is it that that is holding me back from me and you having a relationship, or me moving forward in my life to the next level? So it's, what should you fast from? PT number 2, decide on the type of fast you're going to do. And that is, if you're going to do Daniel's fast, where you fast from any meat products, any dairy, all of those things like eggs, cheese, all of that, and you just strictly eat vegetables and fruits and nuts and things like that. Or then you are allowed to have whole grains. And I did do the Daniel fast earlier this year when I did do my fast. And so you can go all liquids, that's 2, but you can't go that at certain days. And so you want to keep yourself something that you can do for a certain amount of time. And then thinking about what you're going to fast from. What are some things that hinder you? Like for me, social media became something that was a hindrance. Even though I graduated with a career in social media, and it was like, you got to learn how to have balance, not to let the things you see get in the way of you doing what you're supposed to do. And so that's just really what I did. And so my fast, I did the Daniel's fast, and I did no social media. And it was I encourage anyone to do a no social media thing, go without social media, because it just helps clear your mind and opens your mind to so much more. And I still right now try to limit myself with social media, because it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's a doubter. You doubt yourself, you look at other people, and then you start getting those thoughts to going, and you have to really rid yourself from the world and think about what is important. What can I do in my life that'll make me feel like I'm progressing, and not seeing somebody else's life and they're doing better than me. It's not that. And then that's where I have to come back to myself. I'm my own competition. I'm the only person I'm competing with, because if I keep going back and forth in my brain about, what I could be doing, what I'm not doing, or look at that person I'm only hurting myself. I'm only allowing those things to consume me, to get my mind wrapped up in it. And that's what the enemy wants, is for us to get consumed in the things that block us from being who God chose, who God wants us to be, and being out here, just successful and living the life that we want. And so my third PT tip is check your spirit. You cannot do a fast without checking your spirit. And when I mean checking your spirit, it's like fasting with the right intentions. Like checking to see, are you really supposed to be doing the fast? Will you be obedient to what God is telling you during that fast? Are you ready? My biggest thing will be, are you ready? And no one can make you do a fast. It is something that you and God both have to agree on, and it's something that God has to tell you to do, because it is not an easy thing to do at all. You have, after the days go by, it does get easy, but it is not easy at all. And you have to fight the want of your flesh of wanting to go get some food, eat this, eat that, get on social media, all of those things. You really have to fight your flesh, because if you do not, it will be very hard for you to continue the fast. So just check your spirit, know why you're going to fast, fasting with the right focus, being able to say, I'm going in here and I know what I want doing this fast, and God, my heart is right. I know I want to be right with you. I want to have an intimate relationship with you. So it is all about being right with God. My fourth PT is to prepare your body easily, just to ease into it. Start a few days early, like 2 days before you get into your fast. Start kind of break some things down. Stop doing this, stop doing that. For me, it was something I had already been doing, like with our social media, and then me trying to live a healthy life too. It kind of came easy to that. And so it's just start slowly wing yourself into your fast. Give yourself a start date for your fast, and then wing yourself into that fast, because you're going to have hunger pains. You're going to have that. You're going to pass by McDonald's. You're going to pass by fast food restaurants. You're going to be in the presence of other people possibly that are eating things that you are restricting yourself from. So you want to be able to just ease your way into it and to prepare your body for what it's going to endure in these few days. Then you want to set a plan, because fasting is not done just about getting rid of other things. You have to fast and you have to pray. And so with that, you want to make a time for when you're going to meet with God. And Pastor Mike Todd said, you will always make arrangement with God. God will always be there, but you may not show up. But God's going to be there. So you have to dedicate that time. My next tip is to end your fast gradually. For me, I did not do that. And so I paid for that. And I say that because I was like, I did kind of end gradually, because on my last day of my fast, I still picked a vegetable meal when I went out to dinner on Sunday. And so after Sunday, I started to see myself go back into the things that I shouldn't have went back to. And so it was like, after that, I did not get sick or anything like that, but it was like, it started to go back bad. I started to drift off back into the place that I should not have been. And so that's why I'm in gradually. Don't just say, ooh, it's the last day and boom, I'm going to do everything that I couldn't do in those 21 days, those 7 days, however long you fast. Do not do that, because it is not healthy, and it will go south, because that's what happened to me. And I'm having to restart all over again and really say, it affected me. It really put me back at the place where I wasn't. In the beginning of the year, I was on fire. I was doing everything. I'm doing all of that. And right now, it is me right now I'm in the process of having to pick up the pieces that I had in the beginning and put them back together to be that same person, because everything drifted off until we back at feeling these same feelings. We back at not praying. We back at somewhat praying, but not really doing how we were praying. So it's just like, you have to stay consistent, and you have to end gradually. That's it. Just end very slowly. Take it a day at a time. Implement something a little bit at a time, but take it slow. And then my last tip, which I think is the most important tip of the whole entire fast, is that expect God to give results. Even though God, answered a lot of my other things that I was asking for clarity on, but the biggest thing that I got was that God is going to give you other things that you weren't expecting him to expose to you. And that was when he basically kept pointing the finger back at me, kept pointing back at me, kept telling me about myself, kept telling me what I was doing, kept telling me what was hindering me actually from being who he called me to be. And then us to have for me and him to have that father-daughter relationship. And more than that, he's the person that I talk to a lot, and I'm always in communication with him. Even when I feel like I don't feel it, or it's being ignored, because I'm allowing the thoughts to weigh in on me, and I'm allowing all the pressure to just weigh in. He's still there. He's just asking me to lean in a little harder, to press a little more, to keep pushing into his word, because it is not going to happen if you don't continue to stay in prayer. You have to keep praying, and it's like pray with a purpose. I've been reading a lot of things, and I'm knowing, be specific and pray with a purpose. And if it's the same prayer you keep praying until that thing manifests, because it will happen. It's just going to take time, but keep praying on that same thing. And because for me, I keep praying on those things because I want to look back and say, God, you did that. That's my only thing, is everything that I achieve in life, I want to look up and tell God, you did that. And tell other people, God did that. I couldn't do it with my own human strength. I could not do it because I cannot. And I cannot do anything for me without God. I don't want to take any credit for anything that God does in my life, because I don't feel like I can without him. So it's just about being in that moment with God and really taking that time to escape from the world. The world is such a crazy place. It is just such a toxic. It can be toxic at times. And you have to figure out the energies that you want to flow in your life. And so you can't be negative. And I'm preaching to myself, because I get to a point sometimes where I am so just down, so just like I allow the smallest things to just take over my mental space, and then it's like that, I'm done. So it's just living a fasted life. That's my whole, that is just, from my fast, I learned that I have to live a fasted life, because food is my enemy, because that's what I went back to. And I can say it is my enemy, because I was back to my little diet sweet tea that I was drinking, which is not all that good. Then I was back at eating sweets. Oh, I was just like, those are my weaknesses, and it was like they are toxic for me. So it's just best that you have to rid whatever you feel is toxic, because it will come back to show itself that it was toxic. And so I'm just encouraging you all to, when you're trying to get yourself right, when you're trying to get right with God, when you're really trying to be used by him or really connect with God, do 2 fasts. And then after you finish that fast, continue to live a fasted life, because it will be life-changing for you. And I can say for me, it has been life-changing for me, to help me really feel like I'm connected to God, so that I know when God is trying to talk to me, when I know God is like, come on now, get your stuff together, come on now. I'm constantly telling you to work with what you have, and I'm constantly telling you to do this. And it's just, fasting just puts so much in perspective for you, and it just brings attention to the unknown things that you didn't even know that God will reveal to you, because what you may be asking for may not be what you need right now. Maybe it is for you to be exposed to your truth and the things that hinder you. So I encourage you all to fast, to get yourselves right with God, because I am just me. I want to be used by God. I don't want to be controlled by the devil. I don't want to live in the world. I am trying to be used by God and do what it is and do all the things that God wants me to do through his word and through him. So I just thank you all for watching. I hope you guys got some good advice. I hope you guys enjoyed the PTs that I gave you. And so I look forward to just us moving into a new phase in our lives of just trying to get right and be right with God. So I thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.